Where it all started for that band, the Battle Hymns record more than 30 years ago, and the song Manowar from the band Manowar. And now we go to the phone line and welcome to the show, back with us. Had him on not too long ago, and he's back again. Always a pleasure to have Joey Maio of Manowar join us for a bit. How are you, Joey?
Great, Eddie. How are you?
Great. Thanks for taking the time. And people in the U.S. should be very excited because in the past when I've had you on this radio show, one of the big points of discussion is always, how come there's not more Manowar dates in America? And now you got some.
After, I don't know how long, it's really funny to think that now all of a sudden it's, I don't want to say overnight sensation, that sounds silly, but it's amazing to see how these shows are selling, and I really have no idea why.
Well, you know, last time you've done a couple shows sporadically, but this is the first time you've done a little run of dates that kicks off in Detroit on February 7th and runs in through Los Angeles on the 22nd. When is the last time the band played L.A., Joey?
You know, I have to think it has to be 7-8 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I don't live in L.A., but I hear from a lot of fans in L.A. always asking about you guys when we were doing our TV show out there, so I'd figured it had been some time.
Yeah, you know, the only thing I can attribute this to, you know, if I have to really try to put a handle on it, is the fact that the band has never, ever tried to be successful in this country. We never had the kind of partnership that, you know, many of the other bands have had, you know, with regard to a record company or a big agency or something like that. And anything that we have in this country or anywhere else is just based on the fans saying, look, you've got to check this out, you've got to see it. And, you know, now it's to the point where we're able to play across the country without any real advertisement or any, as I said, partnership. And, you know, the support we have is from people like yourself, you know, who is a fan, and other fans. So it's really an honor to have this kind of loyal, dedicated following.
You say that you've never had those alliances to really do those sorts of things in America like you can do in other parts of the world, but why do you think that is? Do you think that it's a resistance from that, or is it more of a resistance from you and the band not wanting to maybe compromise in some of the ways that you'd need to?
Well, without a doubt. I mean, you know, you have to pay for what you get in life. You don't buy a shirt without walking in the store and paying for it, and you don't have mega success without paying for it. And some people are willing to do anything for that, no matter what. And we draw the line when it comes to somebody telling us how to play, what kind of songs to write, how to look, how to act, and finally, how to start cutting corners. And the people that really suffer are the fans. So, you know, you have to have. Everybody's got to have a line. Some people have no line. But, you know, when it comes to taking something that we've given our life to, and people have given their lives to us, I mean, we've got people all over the world tattooed with our name, that means something to us. You know, to other people, you know, it's a dollar sign. So, yes, I would have to say that you get what you pay for in life, but we're not going to let our fans pay for us to do something that cheapens or devalues their faith and their belief in the band.
And in return, you have what Manowar has had for decades now, one of the most loyal and passionate fan bases for your music of any band that I can think of. Of course, here in America and in greater numbers outside of the U.S., and that's really something I'm sure, Joey, most bands would give anything for, because as you said, Manowar doesn't sink or swim on the amount of attention or exposure from a certain song or a certain record. It's just a belief, and it's incredible to watch. I mean, last time I saw the band live, I mean, it's still there as strong as ever. All these decades, years and more than 3 decades after the song I just played, still going strong. It's got to amaze even you, that sort of commitment that comes from the fans and how passionate they are about your band.
You know, I think it does amaze me, and the thing about it is, I think it all boils down to you're going to get out of life or anything else what you put into it. For us, it was never about, okay, let's be the biggest band in the world at any cost, no matter who has to suffer for it and pay for it. It was never a question of that. It was more like, let's get out there and do everything we possibly can to make sure everybody in that audience feels the way we feel about the music, and to do our very best and to give the very best we can. And that's what we've always done. And with that being the case, the success we have is because of the fact that the people themselves spread the word about what we do. I mean, John, our mutual friend John Kolodner. One day, he and I were driving through Santa Monica when he was at Sony, and he just offhandedly said to me in the car, "You're probably upset that you never had the career here in America of a Firehouse or a Cinderella or a lot of these bands from the '80s that were huge. I mean, really huge." And I looked at him. I said, "Well, it would have been nice to at least have the chance in this country." He said, "Well, you're huge in a level that most people will never be outside of America, and those guys are in their mid-20s, and they're retired, and nobody's interested in them anymore." And I thought about it, and I said, wow, to myself, what could be worse than that? I mean, when you're a musician, and you go from being, nowhere at a young age, 18, 19 years old, you hit the top. And I mean, let's face it, you sell 5-6 million records. That's pretty impressive for anybody, no matter what the style of music is.
Right.
And all of a sudden, it's over, and you're a young man, and all people are doing is saying, whatever happened. It's got to be very, very difficult. And for us, I always thought that, we would want to be like a Led Zeppelin or a Scorpions or an AC/DC or, even the Stones, that just enjoy playing your music for whoever's there. So, yes, we're happy to be doing what we're doing. We do exactly what we want. We take no bull from anybody.
Right.
And when we play, we give the fans everything that we've got.
Talking live with Joey DeMaio of Manowar. We're going to talk about the new record in just a second, Joey. But before we go to the new record, I want to talk about Battle Hymns, which, of course, I just played the song Manowar from. Here we are, 32, 3, something like that, years from that debut record. And when I listen to that record, I still love it. I know you revisited that record and re-recorded it recently as well. But I'm curious, when you put yourself, all the decades, all the touring, all the shows, this incredible base of fans that you've built for Manowar that we just talked about, take me back for a second to the guy who made the Battle Hymns record. In your wildest dreams, did you think, when you're in the studio making the first Manowar record, that in 2014, this band would still be not only active, but bigger than it's ever been? I mean, did you ever envision this thing having the legs and the growth and the sort of incredible, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but the way it synced into the metal fans? Did you, when you were in the studio recording Battle Hymns, did you sense that this could turn into what it has?
Well, as I said, we wanted to have the kind of band that the Scorpions have, or any of the other classic bands that played from the heart, wrote songs that people could get into, feel, make their own personal anthem out of the songs that they heard, live the life. So yeah, we always wanted to do this for a long time. That's why we never wrote, quote unquote pop music. I mean, we didn't write Here Today, Gone Tomorrow music, and we didn't play Here Today, Gone Tomorrow shows. We hoped that people would relate to the music the way we wanted to from the heart. I mean, there's never a guarantee. It's a dream and it's a wish, and that's the reward we have, is the satisfaction of knowing that whatever we did and whatever we do, people can trust it and depend on the honesty, and the purity of it. I mean, it's funny, people say to me, don't you laugh at yourself? And I'll say, well, yeah, sometimes I have to laugh at how serious we are. I mean, I have to. I mean, everybody does it. It never fails when we set up to play a show. Somebody will look at the back line and they'll go, who's never seen the band, maybe it's a stagehand, and I'll hear these guys talk amongst themselves, and somebody will go, is that real? And the guy will go, yeah, it's real. It's all plugged in. Look at all those amplifiers. I'll go, they're crazy. And then they'll start laughing. and I have to do that myself. It's so serious. It's really funny, but the commitment to quality is real. And when people come and see the band, I invite anybody to come and see it and just check it out once. If you like it, come back. If you don't, no problem. We don't want to see you again. And we're sure by that time you don't want to see us. You're going to get your head blown off and your face melted. And if that's not what you want, if you don't want metal, you don't want Manowar.
Yeah, there's no fake dummy cabinets on a Manowar stage, and we talked about last time you were on the incredible work you put into building that stuff and building your own instruments and building your own gear, which is really pretty incredible, and a commitment there as well. I want to talk about what you have coming out on February 28th, Kings of Metal 2014. Tell the audience about that, Joey.
It is a re-recording of the classic album Kings of Metal. Not to try and improve it, because you can never do that. What is done. But Carl Logan has been in the band, for many, many years. Donnie Hamzik has returned to the band, and we play these songs every night, and they're different every night. But the live interpretations of these songs has an energy that we owe to the audience and the way the audience responds to things. And the arrangements are different. They've changed over the years, and it's just fun to play these songs every night, and it's fun to go back and re-record them. The technology is better today. It doesn't mean it sounds better, but to us it sounds a little bit more clear and a little more rich, to be able to have the opportunity to use different equipment today, which we feel improves every year for us. And it's a great amount of fun to be able to do this and to hear it. And we hope people are going to like it as much as they liked the re-recorded version of Battle Hymns. It's not a replacement, it's an addition to your collection.
So when you go in and you tackle these classic titles like this and do this, how much of it is... how much do you, as the writer of this stuff, how much do you allow yourself to kind of take it in some different directions versus then you pull the reins back and say, well, I don't want to take this too far off the rails? I mean, I imagine you've got to try to find some balance where you're giving it a fresh coat of paint, but at the same token, you still want to keep what made that record so special, I would think.
Yeah, it's just as you said. It's really just a coat of paint. It's the same car. In essence, I mean, the songs are very much the same signature songs that you've come to love, but they are different arrangements and in many, many ways different, and hopefully different enough for somebody to say, wow, I really like that. It's the way they play it live. I know that version of the song, but yet the memorable feeling that you get and the inspiration from hearing it is still, the heart and essence of it is there.
Is there another album, Joey, and we're talking live with Joey Maio of Manowar, is there another album, Joey, in your catalog that you would love to do this with? Do you have any others on your wish list to re-record?
A Sign of the Hammer would be a lot of fun to do, and that's a thought. People have mentioned that, and I get these ideas from seeing what people write in on our Facebook page or what people say to me when we're out on tour. That would definitely be a fun one to do. And
I'm going to premiere something before I let you go from the upcoming new record, but
world premiere, Eddie.
World premiere. All right. Well, thank you for that. Tell everybody about the tour when you go out and play live. Are you going to do? You're not doing one of these things where you're doing this record in its entirety, are you? Or are you just going to do a balance of stuff?
No, absolutely. God, we've got a team of guys, and I really mean it, a team of guys, video guys, putting together a complete, how shall I say it, journey of the record for live. We're going to play the whole record.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, absolutely, in its entirety. Of course, with other songs that people want to hear, naturally.
Right.
But it's going to be a pretty long show, and it's going to be very, very intense. And we're going to do the whole record from beginning to end. And along with it, there's going to be an incredible amount of visuals. I mean, we're traveling with a semi on this tour, which in itself is, to some people ridiculous. But,
yeah, considering most bands just do weekend fly-ins these days.
Yeah, with the house PA, which
right.
9 times out of 10 is junk,
right.
And certainly is not up to our standards, which not the standards of our fans and what they deserve. But yeah, we're traveling with lights, PA, video screens, video walls, the whole thing. And yeah, it's going to be a journey into the record Kings of Metal.
And before I play this song, we're talking about this decades of music that you've made and the amount of time you put in on the road and the commitment you have to your music and all that. You've done so many things. Maybe even people listening who have only casually followed the band don't even realize it. I mean, you played with an orchestra. You've had so many incredible moments. What is on your personal wish list that you haven't done with Manowar, or personally that you'd like to do still in your career? What's like number one on your list?
Honestly, I don't really know offhand. I mean, I've been so lucky. I mean, can you imagine producing Orson Welles, your first major record, and I was in the control room producing him. I mean, or I've produced Christopher Lee, Susanna York, now Brian Blessed. I've recorded, pipe organs, choirs, orchestras, string sections, soloists, opera singers. I mean, I've been so fortunate, and I think the band as a whole have been fortunate. We've re-recorded, opera pieces. We did Nessun Dorma. We've done an Elvis song, the American Trilogy, which is his encore piece. I really don't know. We've done so many fun things and interesting and different things that some people scratched their head and said, "Well, why would you do that?" Well, because we can. That's the difference. We can do things other people can't do, and why not do it? And music is made to be played. So, offhand, I can't think of anything, but I'll let you know as soon as we're singing in Spain again, because that's what keeps it all going and keeps it fresh and gives the fans something a little different each time. You've got to grow and evolve. Doesn't mean change; it means grow. And
the last thing, Joey, before I let you go and I play the song, is as you go forward here, have you given some thought and any work on a new album of all original material, of not a re-record, a brand new album? Yeah, I mean, that's going to happen, but we just released Lord of Steel last year, and of course Lord of Steel live. So, it'll be a while. We're going to be touring with Kings of Metal for the next year and a half. And then after that, we'll see what happens. Well, you can see the tour here in America start in Detroit again on February 7th, wrapping up on the 22nd in Los Angeles. Go to manowar.com, facebook.com/Manowar for more information and to find dates. And again, Kings of Metal 2014 will be released on February 28th everywhere you can buy music and every way you can buy music, so be sure to check that out as well. Actually, I think I was told today that the record is actually going to be released on iTunes sooner than that. In fact, I think it's going to be released in time for the first show in Detroit. Oh, okay. So people can get it maybe a few weeks earlier digitally via iTunes. So. Yeah, I love iTunes. People don't have to wait. I can mix something in the afternoon and it's for sale that night. I mean, what a joy. I don't know if you're like me, though, Joey. I still love, and you guys have done some great stuff with packaging and artwork over the years. I still love having something to hold. Oh, yeah, I agree. But you know what? I'm an impatient person. When I want it now, and I also buy the physical as well. Yeah. That's the way I am, and I know a lot of our fans are like that too. It's just that it's a fast way to get it. Right. You got to have it all. Yeah, I gotcha. All right, man. Well, listen, it's always great to talk to you, and I appreciate the time. Best of luck on the tour. We'll continue to remind people about it and about the record. And I've got to take a break, and then we'll come right back out of the break, and I will play the brand new 2014 version for the first time anywhere from the new album, the new version of Kings of Metal of The Blood of the Kings. Thank you, Joey. Always good to talk to you. Great to talk to you. Thank you for your support, and you're doing a great job for metal. And everybody can see Joey on that metal show. Finally, we got you on via Skype, but one of these days when your schedule and our schedule matches up, we've got to have you in the studio and really get into it. But you can see Joey on the newest episode, and it was great to have you there as well. Thank you. Likewise, Eddie. Take care, Joey. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Joey DeMaio of Manowar. We'll take a break. We'll come back and we'll world premiere something for you from Kings of Metal 2014. Stick around. Bang your head with Eddie Trunk.